All right, today we're going to crack the code on one of the most valuable spots on the internet for any local business. I'm talking about the Google 3-Pack. We're going to show you exactly how businesses right here in Northern Virginia can get into those top spots and start getting the phone calls that come with it. Let's dive in.
So let me ask you this. If you run a business in Arlington or Fairfax or maybe Alexandria, when a potential customer pulls out their phone and searches for what you do, does your business even show up? For so many great businesses, the honest answer is no. They're basically invisible, buried somewhere on page 2, and they're missing out on a ton of great leads.
And that, my friends, is a huge problem, because the entire game of local search is really won or lost right there in those top 3 map listings. You know, the ones they call the 3-Pack. These spots get almost all the attention, all the clicks, and most importantly, all the calls. If you're not in it, you're practically not in the game.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll talk about why the 3-Pack is such a jackpot. Then we'll get into Google's 3 big rules for ranking. After that, we'll cover how to optimize your digital storefront, build your online authority, and finally, how to turn all this planning into actual profit.
Okay, first up, let's really hammer home why this is so worth your time. Getting into the 3-Pack isn't just about looking good online. It's a direct pipeline to new customers.
So what is this thing exactly? Well, whenever someone searches for something local, like plumber near me or restaurant in Arlington, Google shows this little box with a map and 3 businesses right at the top. It shows up even before the regular blue link search results, which makes it absolute prime real estate.
Now, to win a spot in that prime real estate, you've got to play by Google's rules. And if you can understand these 3 core ideas, you'll get the why behind all the how-to steps we're about to cover. Google's whole system really boils down to 3 things. First is relevance. Does your business actually do what the person is looking for? Simple enough. Second is distance. How close are you to them? Now, obviously, you can't just pick up and move your business, so that one's kind of fixed. But the other 2, that's where you have all the control. The third is prominence, which is really all about how well known and trusted your business is online. And that's where you can really make a difference.
All right, so let's get into what you can control. The single most important tool you have for boosting your relevance and prominence is, without a doubt, your Google Business Profile. I want you to think of it as your digital storefront. It's your foundation.
A totally complete and accurate profile sends a huge signal to Google that you're a legitimate, active business. And that means you've got to fill out everything, all your categories, detailed descriptions of your services, your exact hours and service areas, and please, upload some high-quality, real photos. Every single detail you add builds trust with Google.
And check this out. This slide shows just how massive of a difference one little choice can make. See, if you just list yourself as a contractor, that's super vague. It doesn't really tell Google much. But changing that to roofing contractor, boom, that is a powerful, crystal clear signal that helps Google put you in front of the right people. It can absolutely be the difference maker. And here's the thing, this is not a set it and forget it task. Google loves to see activity. So regularly adding new photos, creating short posts about your work, and answering customer questions, all of that shows that your business is open, active, and engaged. An active profile is a trusted profile.
Okay, so once your digital storefront is looking sharp, we need to build its reputation across the rest of the web. This is all about cranking up that prominence factor we were just talking about.
Your online authority really rests on 4 main pillars. Number 1, a strong website that's optimized for local search. 2, a steady flow of great reviews from happy customers. 3, making sure your business info is accurate everywhere it appears online. And 4, getting mentions and links from other local websites.
Take a look at this. This right here is the gold standard of a customer review. Why? Because the customer mentions both the service, roof, and the location, Arlington. I mean, that's a direct signal to Google about what you do and where you do it. You have to encourage your happy customers to leave detailed reviews like this.
All right, this next concept is absolutely crucial, but it's something so many businesses get wrong. It's called NAP consistency. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. Google is like a detective, checking this information all across the web. If your address says street on one website and steet on another, that tiny little difference can confuse Google and weaken its trust in your business. Everything needs to be identical.
So you're probably wondering, okay, this all sounds great, but does this stuff actually work? You bet it does.
Let's look at a real-world example of a local business that put all these pieces together.
We worked with a service business over in the Fairfax area that had a super common problem. They were fantastic at what they did, but they were totally invisible in the map results. The phone just wasn't ringing from new customers finding them online.
So what do we do? Well, there was no secret sauce. We did exactly what we've been talking about this whole time. We tightened up their Google Business Profile categories, beefed up their service descriptions, added new real-world photos, cleaned up all those inconsistent citations across the web, and strengthened the service pages on their website.
And the result? It wasn't just about getting more clicks or views. It was about the one thing that really matters: a huge jump in phone calls from qualified local customers who were ready to hire them. That's the real win.
And this brings it all right back to you. Seeing results like that, you're probably thinking, okay, how can my business do that?
Here's the key takeaway I want you to remember. There is no single trick or magic button you can press. Winning a spot in that coveted 3-pack is all about patiently building a strong, consistent local foundation, both on your Google profile and on your website, and making sure they work together perfectly.
Now, putting all of these pieces together correctly, it takes time, it takes expertise, and it takes consistent effort. And honestly, that's exactly where USA Marketing Pros comes in. We specialize in helping local businesses all across Northern Virginia implement these exact strategies to get them ranking where it counts.
So if you're ready to stop being invisible online and start getting the calls and customers you deserve, visit us over at usamarketingpros.com to learn more. We'd love to help you build that strong local foundation.